What's going on, everybody, and welcome to video number 2 in our free contractor marketing training. Okay, so in this video, we're going to be talking about SEO and local leads. Now, this is something that is super important to us. I think SEO is one of the most important ways that you can get clients, and it's a long-term strategy. It's not something that's going to happen overnight, and it's something that takes up to 6 to 12 months. So you might make a decision from an SEO perspective, and that decision might not pan out. So you might have to pivot. But I'm going to tell you exactly in this training. I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do, kind of the different steps of optimizing your website, and then one of our methodologies that works super well that I think every single contractor should be doing, because the best contractors that do this are winning right now. So let's jump right into the training. Again, what's included in this training is optimizing the site for SEO. We're going to talk about the main components of that, your Google business profile, and then cherry picking local leads using our favorite methodology. Okay, so again, we're at Freelance Media. We're a full service digital marketing agency. We're really focusing in on the construction industry right now. We've worked with 8, 9-figure contractors. Before starting my own business, I worked for a $500 million construction company based out of Massachusetts. And now I'm compiling all these things I've learned working with these huge companies, and I'm kind of delivering it so we can help you get to that next level, and maybe work with us one day on helping you generate more leads for your sales team to close more sales. We've had 3 clients in 2023, reached the Inc. 5000 fastest growing companies, won multiple awards. And if you've watched the previous video, I'm sorry I'm being repetitive, but some people might skip around. So just want to make sure that they know who they're listening in on. All right, so let's get started. So how to optimize your website. So there's 4 main components here. So we're going to be talking about keyword research, on-page SEO, technical SEO, and off-page SEO. So there's 4 components here. I'm going to break down each one of them individually, okay? So keyword research. So essentially your keywords are going to be your services, right? Now, there are different types of keywords. There's the straight up keyword. So it could be, if you're a carpenter, carpenter is your keyword, but there are long tail keywords as well. So a long tail keyword is essentially going to be more of like a small sentence that somebody might be searching for. So it could be location based, it could be carpenters in Boston, Massachusetts. Or it could be a specific type of project or something, you know what I mean? So carpenters who replace cabinets, something like that, So we want to make sure that, whatever our specialization is, we want to optimize for that. And we want to optimize for location. Now, location is kind of the first step. And I'll talk to you later on in this video about the best way to optimize for location. But it's certainly, as you're building out your website, keep location in the front of your mind. That should be location and service words should kind of go together, hand in hand, wherever they go. Wherever your service is mentioned, you should probably mention where your location is too, because that's going to help you show up in searches for people that are searching for that in your area. And that's what's important. You don't care really necessarily about what somebody's searching for in another state. You only care about what somebody in your city or in your service area is searching for. And now with keyword research, you can kind of skip some of the steps with finding the right keywords by using a tool like Google Keyword Planner, which I actually talk about in the next video, even in more detail. SEMrush, Ahrefs, and Ubersuggest. These are going to give you some ideas of what people are actually searching for, and then you can kind of optimize your website around what those people are searching for. Okay. Now, on-page SEO is kind of where this is where we implement what we learned for keyword research. So on-page SEO, the main things you really want to focus on are your title tags. So, well, all of these are very important, but so title tags are going to be essentially like the name of the page. So it's going to be kind of in the back end, the data that like people don't necessarily see it, but it will be showed up on Google search. So this is where essentially you are going to, and this is the way that we do it. We name our homepage kind of our business name / main kind of overarching service. So if you're like a general contractor, like that'd be something you want to put on your homepage. But then if you have like service pages that are specific to different types of projects, different types of services, that's when like our service page, what we would do is have the start of the title be, roof replacement and then we add a divider, and then we add our location. And that's kind of like the good formula for a title for the pages. Now, meta descriptions kind of go hand in hand. Those are going to be kind of what we're telling Google the page is all about. So make sure that in this you're being very descriptive, but you're also using calls to action because this will show up on the search results. Now, the next thing is your header tags. So the way the headers work essentially is there is like a hierarchy of your page, right? So the H1 is going to be the tip of that page. So H1s tell Google what everything below it is going to be about. Then H2s are going to be under the H1s directly, and there can be multiple H2s under an H1. And those are essentially what we're going to be titling different sections. So if you have a service page that is on roofing, so roof replacement might be the H1, and then H2 could be our roofing process, right? And then we could have H3s under those H2s. So they can be multiple H3s under an H2, right? But they all have to go in the same hierarchy. So in those H3s, that's where we kind of go into the initial consultation, et cetera, for that H2 specifically. So H3s have to correlate to the H2, and then H2 always has to correlate to the H1. So hopefully that makes sense. So, think of that as a hierarchy, and we're making sure that, we're not putting H3 under an H1. There needs to be an H2 somewhere in the middle there. And then obviously paragraph text is kind of what everything else is. That's not a header. Now, when we're structuring our URLs, I think this is super important to, some of the stuff I'm talking about might be a little bit more off page, but I'll explain what the off page is. But because obviously you're not seeing this on the page. But so for the URL structure, especially if you're in a location, we like to use the service name and the location all in the URL. So, there's no mistaking that this page is for contractors in whatever city that you're in, right? And then the last few things are like optimizing images. Just make sure that they're loading faster. You can use tools to compress them. Like Tiny PNG would be a tool. You can compress an image to make it a little bit lighter so it loads faster. Writing high quality content nowadays, you can get decent quality content out of tools like ChatGPT. But make sure that if you're going to be using a tool like that, and like you're not hiring an actual writer, that you're extracting your expertise and really feeding your expertise into ChatGPT before it writes it for you. You don't want to just let it write everything for you. You want your expertise to be the foundation of it, and then let it be creative with how it delivers that information, right? And then internal linking is going to be, linking from page to page. So, you shouldn't have too many pages. You shouldn't go too deep. So essentially, how I explained in the last video, how to structure your website, homepage links to the next page, correct? So if you have a service section, link that to the service page. And then, so if you think of, again, like a hierarchy, your homepage is at the top. And then, you want things to be within 3 clicks from the homepage. You don't want to go too deep. It'll get a little bit messy. So try to stick to that, and then linking appropriately. Linking throughout your text. If you mention roofing in somewhere and you have a roofing page, highlight that, link it to the roofing page, right? Kind of want to interlink and tell Google that these pages kind of relate to each other. Okay, so the next one is technical SEO. And with technical SEO, this is going to be a lot to do with page speed and optimization. So your mobile optimization, make sure your site is responsive. I see a lot of contractors to this day who have a site that looks the same on desktop as it does on mobile, and that doesn't work for users anymore, because on mobile, it's condensed. You can't really read it. So you want to make sure that you are making your site, optimized for mobile, because that is going to affect your ranking too. If Google can see that nobody can use your mobile site, they're not going to show your results on mobile. I can guarantee that. So site speed is very important. Some people might put a bigger emphasis on it than others, but using a tool, if you go to pagespeed.web.dev, you can actually find out what your page speed is. Make sure that's like a respectable number, like in the 70s at least. 60s will even be fine in some cases. Like, don't worry too much about this, to be honest, but it is important. You just want to make sure that your page is providing a good user experience. So if the user clicks and it takes 10 seconds to load, that's not a good user experience. If it takes a couple seconds to load, but it's not too long, you'll be okay. I promise you'll be okay. Some people might say you're not going to be okay. You'll be okay. What Google really cares about is like the authority of your business, and we're going to talk about that in the next slide. But focus on stuff like that more than some of these technical things that other SEOs will try to get paid a lot to do, and they don't really get that much results. But make sure your website is secure. So that means you need an SSL certificate. So an SSL certificate, if you notice on like the top of your browser, it says HTTPS. The S is the security. So make sure that you have that, because that is super important, because people won't even be able to access your website without it. Then schema markup, I can see it's a little bit blocked out here, but honestly, don't even try to implement schema markup on your own. It's a bit complicated, but local business schema will be a way to feed Google a little bit more data to show in the search results directly than just a traditional what they can crawl and pull out of your site. And finally, the off-page SEO. So backlinks, you probably heard this. You probably had people trying to sell you backlinks if you ever had a website. What backlinks are is essentially when another website links to your site. So when somebody's linking to your site, Google registers that as, oh, they must trust him. So the more people that are linking to your site, the more times Google's like, oh, this must be a trustworthy site, right? So one easy way, and I'm going to talk about this in a few different sides, but like building out citations, those are going to be business listings. That's one easy way to get backlinks. The other easy way is to build out content for your website, right? Blogging. Blogging would be the biggest one, but if you could even have a tool that somebody could actually use, if you have like other contractors that might need a certain tool, like a estimating calculator, you have that on your site, that's a good way to get some free backlinks. Somebody might be linking to your estimating tool, so that their customers can use it, but meanwhile you're getting the backlink, your website authority is going up. And then finally is local SEO. So let's just jump right into that one. I think that's on the next slide. Yeah. Okay. So in local SEO, there's going to be two main focuses here. One is our Google business profile, and the next is our location pages. So if you haven't created your Google business profile yet, please just go do that right now. You can even pause this and just go do that. It's very important that you have a Google business profile, because like 50% of clicks are going to the Google business profile links, not the actual search results. So your website can be amazing, and they'll probably even find your website through Google business profile, but you need your Google business profile to be optimized so that people are actually ending clicking on it and going to your site. And the location pages, we'll talk about that right after. Okay, so your Google business profile. I wanted to start with this slide because I want to highlight two things. And you're going to get a lot of people calling you about SEO services you probably already have. And there are only two things that truly matter for your Google business profile. Maybe three. I'll say the third one last. But one is getting positive reviews. You need to get positive reviews, because Google's trying to give the best results to the searcher. They're trying to deliver the company that can provide the best results. So if you have 5 reviews, there's no way you're going to beat somebody with 40 reviews. No matter what SEO person tells you that they can do, there's nothing that they can do if you don't have reviews. And I guarantee if you've ever hired an SEO for local SEO purposes, they have been asking you and asking you and asking you to get more reviews, because they know that you'd go up with more reviews. So then it makes them look good because you're going up in rankings because they're doing something, but really the reviews are doing it. So keep that in mind. And then the next thing, and this is similar but not as important, but pictures. So consistently be posting pictures to your Google business profile. You need to show that your business is active, that you're taking on projects. You even want to geocode your pictures. I think Apple will automatically do this, but if you're going through your website, if you're going through your computer, there's actually like websites you can go to that you can geotag. It's called geotagging. You can geotag your photos and make sure that they're tagged in the city that you're taking those pictures, because it's going to tell Google you're relevant in that city. So reviews and pictures before you work with anybody, just get that first. Go to my Instagram too. I record a video on it. There's a cool tool called Localo that you can use to actually help you with this. So yeah, go try that before you like spend a ton of money on SEO. Here's kind of a brief setup of like your Google Business profile. And to be honest, I'm not even going to stick on this slide too much because it's going to walk you through step by step on your own. But make sure you claim and verify it. A lot of these are one-step processes. So you just do it the first time. Just don't skip out. Like when you're writing a detailed description for your business description, don't skip out. You want to make sure all the keyword research you did for your website, you're implementing it there as well. You can use a tool like Chat GPT, but make sure it's very original content and it kind of tells your story. It's not generic. But then the ongoing things are adding photos, posting updates consistently. They don't have to be all the time, but posting a little bit, and then asking for reviews. Again, reviews, pictures, most important thing. Like you can't expect any results on Google Business Profile until you do that. Okay. And then don't stop there. So here's something that I talked about previously with backlinks, but signing up for business listings is going to be very important for your business. So business listings are going to be things like Apple Business Connect. That's how you show up on Apple Maps. Yelp, which we all hate Yelp, but it's still a good website to get your name onto. Don't pay them anything for advertising, but it's still a good website to get your name onto. Bing Places for Business, Yellow Pages, et cetera, et cetera. There are hundreds of these, by the way. So you are going to want to sign up for as many as you can because they're all a high quality backlink to your website. Okay. And now we need to make sure when we're doing this that we are being consistent with the NAP, whatever you want to call it, name, address, phone number. Okay. Make sure that is consistent on every single one of them. If it's ever not consistent, that'll really hurt your rankings. You need to make sure that every single one of them is consistent because that's kind of be how Google like registers as your business in all these different areas. So obviously sometimes your phone number might be different for different locations. You can't avoid that, but try to be consistent name, address, phone number. Now, for location pages, this is kind of one of our secret methodologies that we really like. Now, with the location page, we're essentially taking our service page, and I maybe should flip these two slides that are coming up, but we're taking our service page and we're kind of like extrapolating that service page to be specific for one location, right? So our header is going to say something like, instead of our header just being like deck and balcony repair, it's going to be deck and balcony repair in whatever particular city. That's going to be your H1. And then your content needs to be relevant for that area. So try to get as specific to that area as you possibly can. I think that is a method really that helps so many clients. We do this nationwide with clients. We do this locally with clients. It is what I like to say is like kind of our secret method. It's not even secret. Obviously it's a thing. People do it, but it works so well. And the reason it works so well is that there are a lot of people that don't do it. So, the chance if you give yourself an at bat in 50 towns versus just one town, like you might be just located in one town, right? But you service 50 towns in the area. If you're only giving yourself an at bat in one town, you're really limiting your options there, right? There's only so many people that are going to be searching in that town. But if you are now doing in all the areas in your service location, in your service area, all those cities in your service area, now you're giving yourself an at bat in a lot of different towns. And, there might be some towns that don't have a great roofing provider, that's stupid, but like there might not be a good carpenter in this town. So if you have a page specifically for that town, you're going to rise up the ranks. So speaking from personal experience too, for my business, it was a game changer. But anyways, that is it for number 2. I can't wait to see you in video number 3. Video number 3 is we're going to go into juicy details about Google Ads and building out our sales funnels. And that's probably why you're here in the first place. So let's see you in video number 3.